Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some audiobooks that were narrated by Shedlock. Aaron Shedlock, I feel like some people are sleeping on him. He's not as popular as Teddy or Zachary or Sebastian, or even Tor Tom, but man, is he good. I have been listening to him for quite some time. One of the books that I listened to last month that he narrated was Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. He narrated this with Stella Hunter. This was a longer audiobook. This was over 18 hours. But this is Dark Academia, and it was student-teacher age gap, but it was also with horror elements and gothic elements, and Carrie, like, she weaved them very well. Now I'm going to say this, the first 50% was very, very slow because she did a lot of world building and a lot of relationship building between the hero and the heroine. However, the last 50% more than made up for the first 50%, okay? This was about Lilia. Her mother died with worms coming out of her nose and stuff. She died in a very weird way. She goes to school on an island off the coast of Maine, and one of her professors is very, very handsome, very, very aloof, and somewhat psychotic, and his name is Deverick. Once those two come together, the connection is very tangible. The chemistry's there, the plotting's there, the romance is there. The horror elements is the worms, okay? This guy is infecting people with worms, okay? I mean, the way Carrie Lake uses this character, he's morally gray. He's experimenting on people. And she's trying to figure out what happened to her mother. And there's this secret society, and it's this whole mystery. If you like suspense, if you can stomach the trigger warnings, I highly recommend this audiobook. Aaron Shedlock killed it, so did Stella Hunter. I do recommend it, but be aware, it is a little slower in the beginning because you're building up to everything towards the 50% mark and beyond, but I do recommend it. Another one he narrated, and I read this last year in October. This was Hunter. This is book 2 in the Reynolds Protective Service series. This is by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. This is about 4 brothers. This one is small town, and it's a local security agency that's run by some brothers. Hunter Reynolds is very much into Zoe. Zoe is running away from a stalker, and he really wants her. He is so pining for her, and in order to come to be with her, he starts reading romance novels to be with her. I mean, yes, he does that. Hunter has dyslexia, so he actually listens to audiobooks, and they have a whole talk about that, which is awesome. But Zoe is afraid of her stalker, who will not leave her alone. And this is a very, very good romantic suspense. You don't have to read the series in order, but I do recommend you read the series in order. It's Archer, Hunter, Gunner, and Ranger. And Aaron Shedlock narrates Hunter with Stephanie Rose. I loved this one. Like, I gave this one 4 stars. And honestly, if I read it now, it'd probably be higher because I still think about it. I loved Zoe as a character. She was a very strong character. She was trying to survive someone who really was obsessed with her. And I loved Hunter as a character. He was very much a golden retriever character. This one I really do recommend. I loved this series as a whole. Is a fantastic series. Aaron Shedlock did such a great job voicing Hunter, and the dynamic between Hunter and Zoe is just fantastic. He is the touch her and I will hurt you type of a hero as well. He really does protect her, and I love this series. And I loved Hunter, and I highly recommend this audiobook. Next one that I want to recommend is Beautifully Broken Redemption by Catherine Cowles. This is book 5 in her Sutter Lake series. This is a marriage of convenience and a single parent. So this one is about Anna. She had a very hard childhood and adolescence. She had a very physically abusive father, and the mother did not protect her as a mother should. She was put in jail for a crime she did not commit. She has a sister named Chelsea. Chelsea is found dead, and Anna needs to protect her niece and nephew. And Mason comes in and marries her as a marriage of convenience. And Mason he's everything in this book. I love this book. This book gives you all the feels, and it gives you this found family, because it has this found family aspect, because Anna and Mason really comes together to protect these kids. And then you have the Catherine Cowles feel with the romantic suspense, and you know it's gonna come. And I just loved the story. I love the romance. I love how slow and subtle this is. He narrated this with Maxine Mitchell, who is fantastic. I love Maxine Mitchell. She is phenomenal. I feel like this was one of their more underappreciated series in Catherine Cowles' canon, and I feel like this one is one of the more underappreciated in the Sutter Lake series as well. So I highly recommend it. Another one that Aaron Shedlock narrated. He narrated the next one with Desiree Ketchum and Sebastian York, and it's Rewriting the Stars. This is book 6 in the Bailey Brothers series. I love the Bailey Brothers series. I will always talk about the Bailey Brothers series in the Haven Brothers series, like by Claire Kingsley. This one is Levi Bailey and Annika Haven, and this is a Romeo and Juliet one, okay? And Annika Haven is a single mom, and Levi Bailey, they were friends, but they couldn't be friends because he's a Bailey and she's a Haven, and they had feuding families, and you have the Telecom Squirrels, and you had the whole family dynamic where the Havens and the Baileys, like literally the town was cut in two. You had the Bailey side and the Haven side. And yeah, you really should read this series in order, but this one and book 3, I think it was the Grumpy Mechanic one. That's my favorite. This one and the Grumpy Mechanic one. But this one is because Levi and Annika, they wanted to be together. They started sneaking around. He treated her son like he was his own, and I loved it. And I just loved how they were going to be together no matter what. And oh my gosh, this one. And you had the plot, you have the mystery and the treasure subplot, and that started in book 1, and it was finally answered at the end of this one. So you got the ending. Levi and Annika's story, though, it was a friends to lovers that really worked for me, and friends to lovers don't always work for me. But this one was, they were sneaking around. They knew that they could not be together. It was again, Romeo and Juliet, because of a few families, until they were like, hey, we are going to be together and you're just going to have to deal with it. And I loved it. And another one that I read in December that Aaron Shedlock narrated with Andriel Ojo, I hope I said her name right, is The Holly Dates by Brittany Cherry. This is the type of Brittany Cherry book I love. It is magical, okay? Kai is grumpy, and Holly, she is so, they call her Holly Jolly. She's so happy. She's trying to find the right person. So she's going on all these dates over and over and over again, and they're not landing. And he's the bartender, and he's like, okay, listen, you're doing it all wrong. And at first they meet when she runs into him because she's so busy reading her book that she runs into him, and she calls it their meet ugly, which I think is fantastic. And he ends up being their dating coach. He ends up being her dating coach to help her find the right person. I loved this. I loved how they just connected in a way that was so magical. They ended up becoming, he was impatient with her. She was tolerant of him until they became friends, and then they became lovers. And she just needed that date because she needed to show people in her hometown that she was not broken after her fiance left her, because her fiance left her at the altar at the very beginning of the book. And I get that, because sometimes people do crappy things and you want to show that, hey, I am okay, I'm gonna survive, and you're not gonna do. I love that book. It was like one of my absolute favorite holiday reads, and I would read this outside of the holiday. Aaron Shedlock killed it. Loved this book. Highly, highly, highly recommend this book. Anyway, so those are some of the books that Aaron Shedlock did narrate. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me down below. And if you made it this far in this video and you want to let me know that you've been here, but you don't want to comment on anything, please leave me a green heart emoji. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.